What is an ETF and how you can invest in one? Let's dive into the video. Hello everyone, my name is George and here we talk about personal finance, business, money and financial freedom. For today's video, I chose to go through what ETFs are and how you can invest in those. Now, first things first, there are different types of ETFs available in the market, but in the very core, they'll share some of the features I'm going to explain today. For the sake of this tutorial, we are going to look specifically at index tracking funds. Just to clarify, however, there are also actively managed ETFs, inverted ETFs, leveraged ETFs, and many more. For beginners, however, the first step is to understand most common type, which is exactly the index tracking ETF. Let's dive in. Let's first look at the name, exchange traded funds. Funds that are traded on the exchange. But how are those funds constructed to match the performance of an index? Let's take the S&P 500 for example. What is the S&P 500 index? It represents the cumulative performance of the 500 large companies in the United States. So we have the cumulative share price movement of 500 big companies. The influence of each of those companies is determined by the company's weight, which, by the way, in the case of S&P 500 is determined by the market capitalization, meaning that the bigger the market cap of a company compared to the other companies within the index, the higher weight is being allocated to this company for the overall performance of the index. In the case of Dow Jones as an example, the determination factor is actually the share price instead of the market cap. But that being clear, for now we know that we have 500 companies, that each of those takes bigger or smaller part of the index based on the market capitalization. Now imagine we have a box. In this box we're going to put shares of all 500 companies in the same proportion as in the index. If Apple, let's say for example, takes X percentage of S&P 500, our box will be filled with X percentage Apple stocks. Then imagine we close the box and we start selling pieces of this box. Imagine the box is listed on the exchange and we sell pieces or shares of our box. With each of those shares, you actually gain ownership on the box and consequently ownership of the underlying assets that are within the box. Remember, in this box we have shares of Apple, we have shares of Microsoft, of Tesla, of Amazon, etc. We have shares that are all part of the S&P 500 index. We have shares of those companies. Now, instead of buying shares of all these companies individually, you can actually buy shares of the ETF and have exposure, indirect exposure on all of those companies. Essentially, ETFs are exactly this, a basket filled with the same stocks comprising a given index. Now you're probably asking yourself how the value of the basket of stocks stays in line with the value of the index. Since the ETFs are traded on the exchanges, the price of the ETF entirely depends on the supply and demand forces. Now, because of that, sometimes you can see arbitrage opportunities. This means that the price of the ETF, the price of the shares of the ETF will slightly deviate from the real value of the asset that it holds. And this is called arbitrage opportunity. Now, institutions are so good in spotting those opportunities that they actually immediately drive the price back into balance. And this is how the ETF pricing functions. Okay, as promised guys, I decided to show you how and where you can buy ETFs, how you can invest in those financial instruments. Now I personally use Vanguard and Investing 212, but for the sake of this tutorial we are going to visit the Vanguard's website. If you would like to find the ETFs that Vanguard offer, you can click here what we offer and then go here down to the ETFs. So just click on ETFs and here you will see first 25 matching results, and here you will see this minus sign. Now the ETFs are categorized by equity or fixed income. For the sake of this tutorial we are going to emphasize on equity because we are looking to find the S&P 500 ETF. And here you have overview or detailed view. I always like to click on detailed view just to see all the different type of information that Vanguard has to offer to me. Let's find the S&P 500 ETF now. We're going to click the plus sign on equity and scroll down. Here you can see we have Europe, Global, UK. For the one that would like to use some UK ETFs, this is the ETF tracking the FTSE 100, and this is the ETF tracking the FTSE 250, which is a mid-size cap here in the UK. And down here into USA, you will see S&P 500 index. Now the ongoing change 0.07%. The risk categorization here is number 5, which is approximately mid to high range. Net asset value, NAV means net asset value or market value. And here one day changed, and of course you can see the yearly performance of the index. So between 1st of Feb 2016 and 31st of Jan 2017, the whooping 36.13%. Then the next year 11.9, 4.95, 21% till Jan 2020, and up until recently, so the last complete year, you have a positive 12%. So this is how you can see the performance of all of those funds. All the information is available to you, so you can make an informed decision. Of course, you can invest in emerging markets, on fixed income as well. Just briefly, let me show you if you would like to invest in fixed income, just to diversify your portfolio and be a little bit more conservative about your investment strategy. Overall, that's it. It's simple as that. Just have a look. Vanguard is not the only provider, but it just happens to be the one that I personally use. So definitely do your own research. And as I always say, choose what works absolutely best for your personal situation, what works best for you. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. For those of you who would like me to make some more videos about the different types of ETFs, please do comment below and let me know. And of course, do all the nice stuff, like, subscribe, comment. Thank you, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.